Holy shit.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Left Side, Strong Side. I'm your host, Chance Ellis. Next to me is one of my co-hosts, Jacob London. Mike Deacon, one thing cannot be with us, but he will be back next week. We are back to break down I'm not exaggerating here. This might be the greatest week of football we've had this year.
Definitely. Oh, this weekend was great, and everything just built, and it was a great weekend of football.
Yeah, this
Absolutely
weekend
fantastic.
was just absolutely insane. Before we get into the actual games, we have to salute an absolute giant in the world of football who passed away, a legend who passed away recently. Mr. Franco Harris, legendary running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, passed away at age 72 a few days ago. And this was insane just because this was one that what nobody saw coming.
Mm.
Like, he didn't look sick. He was still doing interviews and radio and TV appearances. He was fine. He seemed fine.
And then given what's coming Saturday,
and keep in mind this year, not this year, we're 3 days away from the thing that literally made him famous, and is right here.
Last chance for the Steelers. Bradshaw trying to get away. And his pass is broken up by Tatum. Tipped off. Franco Harris has it. And he's over. What? Franco Harris.
See, that's one of the things, what you said it last week, but I think about that play, one of the how can you not be romantic about football?
Yeah.
Exactly. That play, the Immaculate Reception, is widely regarded as one of, not the greatest play in football history.
It won the greatest when they did the 100 greatest plays of all time. It won. Yeah. It was the great, the NFL, and to the NFL's credit and everything, this weekend was all about the Immaculate Reception. That's what this whole weekend was all going to be about. Steelers are playing the Raiders on Saturday night. It's a primetime game.
They were doing the retirement ceremony for his jersey.
Yep. It was going to be a celebration of both him and that moment. And now it's going to be a memorial as well. It's crazy how the world works.
And and as a Pittsburgh fan, I can talk about it. Again, I wasn't around for his playing career because it was in the 70s. But just reading about it and knowing what I know about this team, Franco Harris coming into the Pittsburgh Steelers changed the team.
Oh yeah.
It literally changed the face of the franchise and the league in general, because they were an average team before he got there. But then he got there and suddenly the wins started piling up. And you look at
that you just showed their first ever playoff touchdown.
Yes, that was their first ever playoff win.
Yeah, not only win, touchdown. They never scored a touchdown in football history until that moment in playoff. Until that moment, that is their first. When you talk 70s Steelers, Terry's obviously a big name in it. Franco's bigger. Franco, Franco is the biggest name on that team.
100%. And this is, he can't finish his career with 12,120 rushing yards. That's 15th all time. 91 rushing touchdowns, 11th all time, tied for first all time for the Pittsburgh Steelers with Jerome Bettis. 100 touchdowns total, which is most of any player in Steelers history.
Yeah.
4 Super Bowl championships, Super Bowl MVP, NFL Man of the Year. Not only on the field, off the field, the dude was just incredible to the community of Pittsburgh. He meant so much to that city.
Yep.
And 70s all-time decade team, all-time Steelers team. He was a first ballot Hall of Famer. He was one of the greatest running backs to ever do it.
Yeah. There's Emmitt Smith and
Walter Payton.
Barry Sanders and him. And and I was thinking I asked Taylor and she think he is too. He's the first to go. He's the first. He's the first one of these modern icons. These ones that are modern, where you look at their records and you go, "Holy crap!" how I mean, and he nearly beat Jim Brown's record, which was the unbeatable record. Like that like Jim Brown's is the record to touch, and I know it's been beaten since, but like at the time,
that was the one.
At the time, it was no one's ever beating this, which I mean, yeah, and he nearly did, and that just goes to show how incredible he was. But yeah, it's Saturday is now going to be a very sad day. It's going to also be a celebration of life, not just of a moment in history. It's going to be a celebration of this man's life.
And we'll talk about it later, but I guarantee you, every single person, every single player on the Pittsburgh roster now has an extra fire lit under their ass to win this.
Oh, yeah. No. And we'll talk about it later. The Steelers, they've got to win this. Like, they have to win this. And the Raiders, but also the Raiders are going to want to be the biggest villains in the world.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll get into all of that later. But yeah. And other thing we're going to talk about before we get to actual games is Pro Bowl rosters have come out.
Yeah.
And looking at these rosters, like weird, like the talent, just this how lopsided the talent is between divisions.
I sent you the list. I sent you the list. There are, if you look at the AFC, there are seriously 16 future Hall of Fame players in there, and that's being generous. Like that's being strict on. No, these are people who are getting in that we already know are going to get in.
I mean, looking at what you gave me, I still think some of these are pretty generous.
Okay. This all right, like
because like there are a certain couple that I'm just like, I mean, they're I can see the argument, but I still think they need to do a little bit more.
No, okay, like fair enough, but like okay,
but still, like again, I see what you're saying. Like there are like at least a dozen, at least like locks, at least like 7 or 8, maybe 10.
Yeah, like whereas in the NFC he's got what, 2?
Maybe. But yeah, looking at the roster, so let's talk about before we get into the the absolute stacking of talent. Is probably gonna have a restructure. Probably gonna force league to restructure at some point.
At some point, yeah.
Let's talk about the actual rosters we got going on right here. Let's talk about the NFC roster. Quarterbacks, we got Jalen Hurts. Obviously, I mean he was.
Yeah, Hurts is the one that's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Nice feel good story though. Geno Smith makes the Pro Bowl for the first time in his career.
Again, the redemption story. That confirms he's getting comeback player of the year. Absolutely.
No. There might be another name we'll talk about later. And Kirk Cousins, which fair enough. I mean,
you're 13-3. You're 13-2 or whatever they are. Like, or they're going to. Sorry, they're going to end up most likely 13 and something. Like it's he's despite pulling out wins at the end and how the hell do they keep getting away with this and doing this? He's the quarterback of the team with the second best overall ranking. Who the hell are you going to replace him with at the moment?
Exactly.
Like, honestly.
Running backs, we got Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants, Tony Pollard of the Dallas Cowboys, and Miles Sanders of the Philadelphia Eagles. Miles Sanders was a bit of a shock for me.
No Zeke was my shock. I was a little shocked.
Tony over. I feel like people are starting to sour on Zeke and go over to the side of the camp of Tony.
Yeah, I mean Pollard's been their best. Look, personally, Pollard's been their best running back, but 100%. I think, this year Zeke has been playing well enough this year for me to be like, I'm a little shocked he didn't get into the Pro Bowl. Like this was the last year of, okay, Zeke, thank you. Here is your Pro Bowl. Next year's Pollard's. Like next year, Pollard becomes the guy. I was a little shocked about that.
Pollard's on some good shit, though. I'll admit that. Pollard's on some good shit.
No, Pollard's been good. Pollard's been very good.
Fullback, Kyle Juszczyk, 49ers, obviously.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, you got Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings, A.J. Brown from Philadelphia, C.D. Lamb from Dallas, and Terry McLaurin from the Washington Commanders. Yeah, that's
easily the best class of theirs. Like you look like
the only sub I could have seen is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Maybe, yeah, but I like for who? CD, do you reckon? Or
I mean, probably CD or Terry. Like, he's not gonna put his top 2, but like,
no, like
if I'm betting right now because like say the whoever goes to Super Bowl, like one of these teams goes to Super Bowl. So Vikings or Eagles, probably the Eagles. If AJ Brown ends up getting knocked out, I think Amon-Ra gets in.
Oh yeah, the Amon-Ra is definitely the alternate. Yeah, absolutely.
Tight ends got George Kittle from the 49ers and TJ Hawkinson from Minnesota. Both fair, although it is kind of funny. TJ Hawkinson started his season with another team.
Yeah.
Tackles, he got Trent Williams from the Niners, Lane Johnson from Philadelphia, and Tristan Wirfs from Tampa Bay. Yeah, all fitting. Trent Williams, arguably the best offensive lineman in football right now. Guards, Zach Martin from Dallas, Landon Dickerson from Philadelphia, and Chris Lindstrom from Atlanta, which is crazy. I didn't think Atlanta would have a single Pro Bowler this year. But this also marks Zach Martin's 8th Pro Bowl appearance.
That's crazy.
Sorry, 9th Pro Bowl appearance. I was wrong. 9th.
Oh, Jesus, that's insane.
Yeah, and centers, you got Jason Kelsey and Frank Rangro from Detroit. Defensive side of the ball, you have Nick Bosa and Brian Burns as defensive ends, DeMarcus and also as well as DeMarcus Lawrence from Dallas. Interior linemen, you have Aaron Donald from the Rams, Jonathan Allen from the Washington football team. I'm sorry, Commanders. I want to say football team, and Dexter Lawrence from the Giants. I mean, again, all great names to have. I can't think of a single person I put in rather.
Yeah.
Outside linebackers, you got Micah Parsons and Darius Smith. Hassan Reddick's the alternate. I feel like that's, I don't know. I feel like I put him over as Darius. Darius has been great, but I think I put Hassan Reddick over him.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just think at the moment it's kind of one half.
Yeah, no, I get you. Middle linebackers got Fred Warner and Demario Davis, both deserving. Cornerbacks got Darius Slay, Trayvon Diggs, Tariq Woolen, who's a rookie, and Jair Alexander. Kind of crazy to see no Jalen Ramsey, but he's been awful this year.
Jalen Ramsey's he's been a liability for the Rams. He's not actually absolutely. Like he's been a liability. Jalen Ramsey being on this list would have been for reputation only, and he doesn't deserve. I'm actually very glad that they didn't.
No, yeah, absolutely. I agree, and I'm also like realizing that there's only one player from the defending Super Bowl champs on this list, and it's Aaron Donald, who hasn't even been great this year.
Who had that one's reputational. That one is absolutely
100%.
Reputational. Like he has not lived up to that this year, and he's fucking injured. He's got Anyway,
but yeah, again, and that was another one. Like if Cooper Kupp finished the season, I think that would have been an interesting to see who
Cooper over. Yeah, if Cooper may have been in over someone like
CD,
or McLaren, McLaren.
Yeah. Free safety, Quandre Diggs from Seattle, and strong safeties you have Buda Baker and Talanoa Hufanga, which I think is I love that pick. He's been excellent this year. Special teams, you got you got place kicker Jason Myers, return specialist Kamate Turpin of Dallas, and that's about it. I mean, it's kind of looking at this, the Eagles have the record of any team in the NFL, 8 Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, no, the Eagles have been so far the best team in the NFC, at least by a 100%. Country mile. So it makes sense given how dominant they've been. Again, yes, they've played bad teams. Like the question mark over the Eagles isn't in the regular season anymore. It's all right, what do you do in the playoffs? Because in the playoffs, you're playing real defenses. And every time you played a real defense, you struggled a little. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, but you want to talk about just that gap in talent. Let's look at the AFC roster. Holy shit. Quarterbacks, you got Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow.
3 future Hall of Famers right there.
I mean, yeah. I think Josh Allen will make it.
Okay.
I think he'll make it.
If it was tomorrow, no, obviously. I don't think the only one who is is Mahomes. That's fair enough. I will give you that. But the trajectory they're going on, all 3 of them are going to be Hall of Famers. This is our future. This is our guess where the AFC is going over the next decade. It's going to go through one of these 3 cities. Over the next decade, if you want to make the Super Bowl, you've got to beat these 3 teams.
Running backs, you got Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, and King Henry. That's kind of crazy. Like King Henry is the backup. He's a reserve.
Yeah, the one name that I think could have argued been in here is Cam Akers. I think Cam's been
Cam
not Cam Akers,
Akers.
not Cam Akers. Sorry.
Oh my, wait, what?
No, sorry, Chargers kid.
Oh, Austin Eckler.
Eckler. Oh my god, my brain. It is 8 a.m. in the morning. Eckler is Eckler. I think he was the one argument, but again, are you really kicking him? Are you really kicking Henry out over?
Absolutely
Eckler?
not.
Exactly.
The dude's been dominant, and we'll talk about later how I think he's going. How I think why I think he's going to get his rushing title back.
I think Eckler's going to get in on. He'll get in because one of these guys is making the Super Bowl. So
one of these guys?
I mean, who you got? Sorry.
Chubb, Jacobs, and Henry? You think
Oh,
one
wait,
of those
no,
is
they're not making the Super Bowl. Never mind. Don't worry. Ignore that. Yeah, they're not making the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, no, like these are all great backs, but like they are not enough to carry their
none
team.
of them are making the Super Bowl. Never mind.
No.
Oh my god! Wow, someone's gonna make the Super Bowl without a running game. That's actually hilarious.
Well, I mean, unless the Eagles. Oh, sorry, from this conference, yes.
From this conference, yeah, without a running game.
You're correct. Fullback Patrick Carr to the Baltimore Ravens. Wide receivers, you got Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, and Devontae Adams.
That's a fucking stacked wide receiver.
Yeah.
Can you imagine waking up tomorrow and like, hey, so our team has this. You just be like, we're dead.
I quit. Secondary Sarah prayers.
You're going up against this. You're going up against this in fantasy.
Yeah, no, like shit. I question how many people you have in your league if that's the case.
Yeah.
Only person.
Yeah, no Waddle's interesting.
Yeah, no Waddle. About to say no Waddle is a bit of a surprise.
Look, who do you drop?
Jamar Chase, easy Jamar Chase.
Oh sorry, Jamar Chase has been good this year.
He
has
way more yards, receptions, and touchdowns than Jamar Chase does.
I know, but you've got to also remember, I know it's based off the whole season, but it's the last month, really.
Yeah,
it's the last month.
But still, Jamar Chase has been good. I'm not denying he hasn't been good, but still, Jalen Waddle's been excellent this year. So if I was gonna bump somebody, I would bump Jamar Chase.
That's fair. Yeah.
Tight ends, Travis Kelce, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Mark Andrews.
I mean, who else is there?
Exactly. Who else?
Yeah, it's Mark Andrews is put in because it's who else are we putting in this?
And the only other one I could see is like Pat Freiermuth, and even he has been great, but like by tight end standards, he's better than most.
Yeah.
Offensive tackle, we got Laramie Tunsil, Teron Armstead, and Orlando Brown Jr. Again, all fantastic. Tunsil, another one, nearly actually destroyed his team by going to Houston, but yeah, it's not his fault. Guards, Quentin Nelson, Joel Bitonio, and Joe Tooney, and then centers, Creed Humphrey and Mitch Morse. Kind of wild. Kansas has alignment in every single category.
Yeah,
in this list.
Sorry, Kansas City have the best O-line in football. They've
Eagles. I'd go.
Sorry. Okay, fair enough. I'll give you Eagles. Yeah, I'll give you Eagles.
Defense. Defensive ends. You got Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, and Trey Hendrickson. Yeah, I believe the Hendrickson's first Pro Bowl. No, I'm sorry, he was in it last year.
Yeah. No, that's they're all very worthy.
Yeah. Chris Jones. It's one you didn't mention. Chris Jones, I think is definitely a Hall of Famer in the future.
Sorry. Yeah, I missed it.
Quinnen Williams and Big Jeff from the Titans. Outside linebackers, you got Matt Judon, Khalil Mack, and TJ Watt, who I was surprised to see on this list.
I was shocked that TJ. I was about to message you and be like, he's played 4 games, and then I looked it up, and he's actually played 7. And I'm like, okay, all right, he's played 7, and he's got decent numbers in the games. All right, fine, fair enough. I'll give it to you. That's reputational, and you've also played decent so far.
He's also reserved, so I get it. But I think I'm like 99% sure he has better stats than Khalil Mack, who's the starter.
Yeah, and Mack's not been amazing, but that's also because the Chargers is running a G League team at the moment. So
inside linebackers, you got Roquan Smith and CJ Mosley. I feel like Roquan Smith is just a response to how much Baltimore hated Patrick Queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cornerbacks, Sauce Gardner making Pro Bowl in his rookie year, and PS2, which is kind of crazy. Like both starters are within like their first or second year, and then
Yeah.
you two backups are Marlon Humphrey and Xavier Howard, two vets.
Yeah. I mean, look, they've earned it this year.
Absolutely.
Absolutely earned it. So I'm glad. It's the one thing like this year, especially given that they're completely blowing up the Pro Bowl and going, all right, we're going to do a skills competition or like we're just going to have fun with it. They're like giving a lot of these kids chances.
No, yeah, absolutely. Forgot to mention for snubs. One of the big snubs I think of the year for the defense, inside linebacker Matt Milano from the Bills.
Yeah, no, it is, but personally, it doesn't really matter because the Bills are making the Super Bowl anyway. So,
free safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. Great pick. Dude's been the best safety in football this year.
Yeah.
Strong safety Derwin James and Jordan Poyer from Buffalo. Special teams kicker Justin Tucker, obviously, and return specialist Devin Duvernay. So yeah, I mean it is kind of crazy this is how much more talent the AFC has than the NFC at this point.
Yeah, like it's just you look at it and you just go, this is. But the funny thing is, the NFC's won it the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Which is just hilarious to think about that, like the AFC, despite having so clearly and obviously the better talent, can't win the Super Bowl because the NFC keeps winning it.
Yeah, it's just it's
like if the Bucks, Rams. I mean, Chiefs won it the year before, but like and then the year before that was
Patriots.
So
Patriots.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, the Patriots era doesn't count.
It's the one. That,
okay, so in a post Patriots era, we're 2-1 for
That's true. Yeah.
For NFC. And look, I don't know if an AFC team is winning this year. I don't know if an AFC team is going to beat the Eagles or 49ers. Because I think I really do believe that whoever comes out of the AFC is going to be beat up as hell and going to have to have played 2 really hard fought games to make the Super Bowl. Because whoever comes out is going to have to, like, personally, I think it's going to be a combination of one of the 3 of Bengals, Chiefs, Bills, which means you're going to have to play 2 of them. You're going to have to play the Bills, or you're going to have to, and then you're going to have to beat the Bills, Chiefs, or beat Bengals, Bills, or Chiefs, Bills, or Chiefs, Bengals. I mean, which means you're going to be beat up.
So
that's
true. All right, but that's it for the Pro Bowl. Let's get into the actual games that were played. Starting with Thursday Night Football, you got the 49ers versus the Seahawks, and yeah, the Cinderella story is starting to turn into a pumpkin real fast for Seattle.
For Seattle, it is. I mean, it is turning into a pumpkin real quick. I also think, look, they're doing better than anyone expected. So, they might end up. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. Personally, at this point, I think this weekend is the game where they have to win this weekend if they want to make the playoffs. And I personally don't think I don't think they're going to make the playoffs at this point. But they've done 1,000 times better than anyone thought they would. And again, 49ers are the best, probably the best team in the NFC. Like, at least that defense is. That defense is incredible. Like, so I'm not gonna murder the Seahawks or Geno because he didn't play amazingly against the 49ers defense.
Yeah, that's true. But also the fact that their offense is so well that they can literally put in Brock Purdy and be efficient.
Tell you what, Brock, like, I know everyone, like, the Brady comparisons are going to get very annoying very quickly if the 49ers, if Purdy goes on and wins the Super Bowl, those Brady comparisons are coming. Get ready for them.
I mean, I think it's more impressive than Brady. I'll say that right here. No, that's a lot. No, well, I think it's about as impressive as Brady. I'm not impressed with either.
If you were doing this show in 2001 when he won, or 2002, sorry, when he won against the Raiders, you would have been impressed.
Absolutely not, because Tuck Rule happened.
Oh,
So no.
God.
And we'll get to the retribution for that later. Christian McCaffrey, by the way, I forgot to mention him. Another like potential snub for Pro Bowl. I mean, the fact he's been healthy this long should make him a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. No, him not making that, but because you'd put him in running backs, hey?
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
I could see him taking him out for like Miles Sanders.
Yeah. Like
or Ian Pollard.
Yeah, Pollard. Actually, yeah, I'd put him in over Pollard. I think it's because he changed teams and because
That's true.
because he changed teams and he hasn't, and he didn't do well under the Panthers. Like he didn't have numbers under the Panthers. He only got the numbers really under the 49ers. I think that's why.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, Niners continue to roll on. But yeah, and with this win, they've officially not only clinched the playoff spot, but clinched the division.
Yep.
It's a long vacation, but they are back on top.
They are.
Now, people watching, we're going to apologize up top real quick because we might be discussing this game for quite a bit. It is our game of the week. And it is the Colts versus the Vikings. Because what we witnessed was incredible. And not in the good way.
I need to give context for this. So this game was on at 4 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday. And I was like, ugh, a Vikings-Colts game. I'm not getting up for that. Like, I'm not getting up for watch a Vikings-Colts game. I was drinking the night before. I had plans. I wasn't getting up for this. So I didn't set an alarm or anything. And then around 5 a.m., I rolled over. I woke up just naturally. And I was like, oh, I wonder what the score is. I looked at the score, and it was 33-0.
Nothing.
That woke me up real quick. Because I was just, whoa, hang on. I've got to see what the hell happened in this game.
Yeah. This game was an absolute tale of two halves. First half, the Colts are putting on a clinic. Like, this is the best this is the best football we have seen them play all season.
Yeah.
Like, more so than the Chiefs, more so than anything else they've won. This is more so than the Raiders. This is the best they've played. Literally, offense, defense, special teams, everything was clicking. And that's without Jonathan Taylor playing. It's only after the second half things got a little crazy. Now, keep in mind, they were up 33-0. All of us are ready to cancel the Vikings for what they've done.
Oh, yeah. 2 weeks in a row that the Vikings have looked terrible.
Yeah. You know what? What's the one thing that we've learned that you need to do as an NFL player, coach, coordinator, whatever? Keep your foot on the fucking gas.
Yep.
The Colts defense decides to go into soft zone prevent and allow the Vikings to inch back little by little until the game is tied. This is literally the biggest blown lead in the history of the NFL.
It's bigger than the comeback.
And you want the ironic thing? You know, was the quarterback for the comeback?
Yeah.
Frank Reich.
Yep.
This feels like like karma or retribution or something for the Colts firing him prematurely.
Colts fired him, but then also stole his record.
Yes. So you earned that. So yeah, the game managed to get tied, get sent into overtime, and then the Vikings won. Somehow they managed to win.
Matt Ryan has the two biggest chokes in regular season and Super Bowl. Even though Matt Ryan wasn't the problem.
No, like this is not the fault of Matt Ryan. This is the fault of I'm just gonna say it. Everybody on the Colts is not Stonk's player of the week. Every single person. Doesn't matter who.
Look, this game is more just one of those anything can happen. Anything can happen in football. Don't ever don't ever write off anything happening. It's any given Sunday. And oh my God, what happened on Saturday night or that Saturday afternoon is just hands down one of the craziest things I've ever seen in football. I was just sitting there because when the score was 33-0, I looked at it and I went, okay, it's actually not that insane. Like it is, but it's not. It's a touchdown every 7 minutes. That gets you 3 minutes to spare to get a game-tying touchdown. Okay, that doesn't sound impossible. We can score a touchdown every 7 minutes. First one, they score within 7 minutes. It's like, okay. Second one, they score within, and then the defense gets a stop. Okay. Second one, they score within 7 minutes. I went, is this going to happen? It's I had done the math on how much you need to score and by what time, and they make it every single time. I can't remember if it was a pick or a fumble
from the Vikings.
Yeah,
it was a pick because it was no. What happened was Justin Jefferson was hit in the head. It was flagged wrongly because that was not a necessary roughness. That was a clean hit. He went out of the game in the very next play. Kirk Cousins threw a pick because he relied on Jalen Reagor to make a play. Jalen Reagor.
Yep. That's right. And as soon as that pick was, I went, that's it. Game over. They're not going to come back from this. However, that is the one time you could argue is Matt Ryan's fault is you didn't waste more clock. They wasted 30 seconds or something like it was something ridiculous. Like 6 or 7 seconds came off the clock. And it was like, guys, what are you doing? You are not playing the Vikings at this point. You are playing the clock. Like the Vikings aren't your opponent right now. You need to be wasting as much clock time as possible. And that's on Matt and that's on Jeff Saturday, who kind of proven everyone who went, hey, why the hell are you getting a guy who's a high school coach wrong?
Yeah. Now look, I like Jeff Saturday as a person. I think he knows the game of football. But holy shit, he was not ready for this.
No. Like he's what, 6 and 85 or something in fourth quarter points.
I think that's about right.
It's like, and look, I know that number's a little inflated because of the Cowboys game, which isn't on Jeff Saturday, is more on Matt Ryan because of the turnovers. So that I understand that, but like, still, that's fourth quarter football. Like,
but still, he had the chance to break down barriers for all those players who wanted to become coaches, be that guy. And you know what? No, we got that guy in Dan Campbell.
But not only that, Jeff Saturday has basically just gone, hey guys, you need experience. Which is so I guess the good part about this is any analyst or anything who's never coached or anything but just knows the game and has a really good relationship with an owner or a manager, you're not getting a job anytime soon. This is you're gonna have go get a college job, go get something.
Be a coordinator, be an assistant, do something.
You need something before you're gonna be able to actually get a gig because teams are gonna realize after what happened of what Saturday has done this season and go, we ain't doing that again. Like,
I think back to the beginning of the season when the Texans wanted to hire Josh McCown.
Yeah.
That team sucks now. Can you imagine with McCown?
Oh, I know.
At the lead. I feel like they might have been the first team to go 0-17.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, they're going to come bloody close to it this season. They're not winning another game this year.
Probably not. Well, they might. We'll get into that later. But yeah, Colts just what the fuck?
You blew it, man.
You blew it! You blew it! You blew it, boy! You really blew it! You blew it! You had it all and you blew it! Stupid son of a bitch, you just blew it!
Thing is, I think they're still in playoff contention, but it's crazy to me.
But that's just because that division's so goddamn awful. The South on both sides is just awful this year. Like,
But conversely, on the other side, even though we're all pretty sure they're still massive frauds, the Vikings have clinched the division. Do I trust them long term? Absolutely not. But
no,
they're there.
look, their first game's going to be against either Washington, Lions, or Seahawks, and honestly, all three of them can beat them.
All right. Up next, we got the absolute inverse of the earlier game. Got the Ravens versus the Browns.
The most forgettable game of the weekend.
Oh, 100%.
Honestly, the most forgettable game of the weekend that the Ravens, I'm sure, are very glad is forgettable because they were bad. Like, hey, we've just come off the greatest comeback of history. The next game we're going to talk about was a really tough, hard fought, incredible game, and then this freaking disaster that was in the middle that was just boring, and I went straight back to sleep. So I watched maybe 20 minutes of this game.
I mean, look, I give credit to Nick Chubb. He had a good game on the ground. Nearly broke 100 yards. John Watson's looking better. His accuracy's improving. I mean, that sucks for me, but what I want to talk about this is I know you're not dealing with what would be your franchise QB, but you're not going to pay him. I know you're dealing with a backup, but good God, this is a miserable performance. Like, again, you would think a team that could have a rusher over 125, because J.K. Dobbins was stellar in this game. The fact that this team could only muster 3 points, I think, is miserable. Not only that, the team is so miserable that Justin Tucker is now missing kicks.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker is missing kicks.
Yeah. Ravens are in trouble. Ravens are in a lot of trouble. And it's funny. Lamar not playing might have actually given him more money, because now there's what are we going to do without him? Like, if they do not pay him in the off season, congratulations. That game is your next year.
Yeah, like if I'm Jim Harbaugh, no, I'm sorry, Jim Harbaugh.
John. No, I think it's Jim. Yeah, Jim.
Yeah, it's Jim. If I'm Jim Harbaugh, I am worried about my job
right now. Yeah, like, look, he's done enough where he'll keep his job this off season, but he is now very reliant on Lamar Jackson.
100%.
Because without him, I don't know who this team is. This team's a bad football team. They are a bad football team. And I get it. The injuries has destroyed their defense. I understand that. But that defense is bad. But this offense, like, without Lamar, this offense is anemic. And
yeah, and you need to stop. You need like some kind of stopgap, and like, just like who are you gonna get? Like Jameis Winston.
Like, yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know who you're gonna get,
I mean, but try to outbid for Jimmy G. Like, I don't know what you do. Try and rehab Zach Wilson.
Maybe, like, honestly, call the Packers. What do you want for him? Not for Rodgers, for Love.
Oh, for Love. Interesting.
Like, but again, the problem you're gonna have is in that division, Kenny Pickett's playing really well. Watson's starting to get better, regrettably.
Yep.
And then you're going up against perennial Hall of Famer Joe Burrow. Like, you're going to have the fourth worst quarterback in the league, where for the longest time it looked like, oh, we had our quarterback set for the next decade in Lamar Jackson, and who knows now?
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, this is a awful, boring game. And shame on you, Ravens, for giving Deshaun Watson his first one as a Brown. I'm sorry, not his first one. No, never mind. No shame. You're good. The Texans take that shame from you.
Yeah, Texans. He beat the Texans.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't really beat the Texans. You just win. And the Texans just stand there.
Sorry. Well, no. Okay, this one you can actually say was pretty much on Deshaun Watson, because he came back and he actually played. That first game, he was bad. He was bad. He was not good. Bad. Like, Watson, as we said, Watson just needs to start playing. No matter what, he needs to be playing. And yeah,
he's doing it.
He's doing it.
And again, it's scaring me.
Look,
As a division rival, it is scaring me.
they're still the Browns.
I know they're still the Browns, but God. All right, moving on to our next game. This is a battle for the AFC East. You had the Dolphins versus the Bills. Basically, playing the exact opposite conditions that the first match was played in.
Yeah, snow, cold.
And it is funny. Like I did see. So I saw something I never saw. I saw the fans get flagged.
Yeah, which is actually hilarious because it's technically not in the rules. The refs just came up with a rule on the spot.
Yeah, right.
Which
Yeah.
again, like, and I've seen people blow up about this of like how it's not in the rules. How can you punish a team? Like, guys, it's player safety. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's
I
just.
mean, look, the game was out here looking like this. I have expected Buddy the Elf to come out at some point and to start shit.
Like, I understand that it might not technically be in the rules, and it's one of those like guys. And it's one of those, if the Bills argued it, they could probably get away with an arguing, like going, "Hang on, you can't do this." They could probably get away with it, but I also at the same time go, it's player safety. Like, having fans throw snowballs at players, it's a bad look, and it's dangerous. Like, it's potentially dangerous. Having them throwing at staff on the side who are just doing their jobs. Like, there's a difference between what the Dolphins do with their stadium and how it's built to this. If it was snowing and the Bills side wasn't getting the snow, but the Dolphin side was, that's different. That's fine. You pelting snowballs at them that's player safety. That's a safety problem. You need to address that.
That was just poor form.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's a bad look, and but to their credit, they got told and they stopped. They all stopped. Like, it did stop. Like, obviously they were throwing it on.
If I'm a Dolphins fan, I'm checking away. Like, all right, Tyreek, take him for the team.
Like, yeah, but there is 1,001 cameras. They would find you. So, it's just one of those. Bills fans are some of the most generous and kind-hearted fans out of the entire league. Like, you just look at every time something happens, in the game, to another team, Bills fans are generally the ones who are donating money, who are generally like putting up something around it. But yeah, this was poor. This was a poor form. This just looked bad. Yeah, I think that's that the refs did the only thing that they could have to stop for player safety, and I think it's been overblown to a point of, oh, but it's not within the rules. Yeah, well, refs have ultimate authority, guys.
But talking about the actual game that was played, this was a knockdown, drag out fight.
Look, Dolphins still scare me, but it's still a divisional game. Of course, it was a knockdown, drag out fight. Divisional games are meant to be this. This is what divisional games are. Bills do not play a single divisional game easy, ironically, except maybe the Patriots now, which is just hilarious to think about. But that's also because the Patriots are anemic. Like, the Dolphins, the Dolphins are their biggest rivals at the moment. It's easily the hardest game on their schedule within division. Like, they look at these games every year and go, all right, we got to somehow win these. And Josh Allen, I love Josh Allen. He's one of my favorite. He's my favorite quarterback. He's still got some work to do. He is third out of Mahomes and Burrow. He is third.
I mean, look, he's putting up yards, putting up touchdowns. It's probably one of his better games in the last couple of weeks. But God, his accuracy is starting to suck again.
It is, and look, I personally I think they're asking him to do too much. I think given or he at least feels like he has to do more than he is being asked of. Maybe like but he is trying to play hero ball instead of go for the smart option because they don't have a defense right now. I think he's worried that this is their window. And I think losing Miller has really put the fear of God into Allen, and he's like, I am not losing this year. And I think that's.
I mean, no Miller and the other safety, Micah Hyde. Micah Hyde's been gone for weeks. He's not coming back.
No, he's not coming back. Like they're worried. I think that's what's causing a lot of the problems. But look, he's still, he still made 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. Like it's still an impressive stat line. But then there's the silly mistakes that the mistakes are starting to creep back into his game. And that was the thing he didn't have last year. But that fumble on the third quarter, like the first one that he didn't get away with. But then the second one, like the fact that he didn't get away with the first one, then he gets a second one and he gets away with it. If the Dolphins get that second one, that's game. That's it. Dolphins win this game, and Bills are a wild card going into the playoffs.
100%.
So,
the Bills escaped Miami in this one. They didn't beat them. They escaped.
No, I agree with that. I think they definitely escaped. I think Miami. Look, I still have my doubts on Miami. I think, that I'm curious about what they're going to be like going into Arrowhead in the playoffs, what they're going to be like going into Cincinnati in the playoffs. I think, unlike the Bills, I think if the Dolphins got the Bills in the playoffs, I think they would feel a lot more comfortable with that than playing the Chiefs or playing the Bengals in the playoffs.
Probably. I would agree. But even again, they haven't clinched the division officially yet, but they have officially punched their ticket to the dance. The Bills are playoff bound. And as
they were technically the first AFC team to be playoff bound.
Yes, they were. Yes, you are indeed correct. Moving on to our Sunday slate, so we have the Eagles versus the Bears. This again that was looking really ugly for Philadelphia for the first half.
This was the game where, look, we're in week 15. I'm not gonna start criticizing a lot of these top teams for playing poorly against bad teams because mentally they're in the playoffs. They know they're in the playoffs.
The Eagles have already punched their ticket to the dance. So they had no major incentive other than pole position.
Yeah, other than the number 1 seed, and that one's still up for grabs. And I think this weekend is going to be a very big indicator of where the Eagles are mentally. But there's a few games this week, and there's another one we'll talk about later that I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you for playing badly against a bad team because, again, and the difference between this and what the Cowboys did last week, where I did kill the Cowboys, is, all these other teams, they've earned benefit of the doubt. Cowboys haven't. I've seen the Cowboys do this every single week where they fade and they. So we can talk about this. We can talk about this when we talk about the Cowboys. But I'm not going to kill the Eagles for playing badly in that first half, or for Hurts not playing amazingly in that first half. Guys, we're getting to the pointy end of the season. Like, people are just. It's hard to get motivated against bad teams.
Conversely, though, I am actually really excited to look at the future Justin Fields in Chicago if he stays there. Well, who knows? But yeah, he's coming along. He's going to be a better passer. He's a great runner. Probably they have a really promising franchise QB and nothing else. Nothing else.
Okay, they have nothing else, but they have a lot of draft capital next year. And so they've gone in, they've made a lot of a lot of trades for draft capital, but then they've also got I think it's either the biggest or the second biggest salary cap space.
I think they should be like the second biggest.
Yeah, and so like I'll tell you, like, look, the Bears, I think you're obviously going to be a little bit worried because it's the Bears and it's, again, benefit of the doubt. They have doubt. There is a lot of doubt in can your ownership and management actually build a decent team. That's fair and a genuine doubt and question mark. But with the cap space and the draft capital they have, I'd rather that than where a team like the Rams are.
100%. Like the Rams are. We'll talk about the Rams later, but holy shit,
Yeah,
they are
say where Green Bay are, where you've got a quarterback, but your salary cap's stuffed. Like your cap is ruined, and so at least the future can be bright for the Bears. They've just, you're kind of where the Jets were last year, where if you hit on this draft, you could be in the playoffs next year because you've got your quarterback. You've got your quarterback. He is your future. You've just got to hit on every other spot in this draft and draft well. If you can draft well and draft really well, you've got it. You guys could be scary within this division because the Vikings aren't it. The Lions are starting to, and the Lions have got the same thing that they've got to be next year, that they're going to have a really good draft and they could go forward in the future. But the Bears have this. If you hit and you hit well, that division's wide open.
Absolutely. Philly continues their run, their incredible run, 13-1. They're 13 or 14-1. I think it's 13.
14 now. No, sorry, 13. 13. It's week 15.
There's 3 games left.
Yep. The one other big thing to come out of that game, obviously, is Hurts getting injured.
Yeah, and we'll it was announced this week that he is not going to be playing. Instead, Gardner Minshew. Sitting back in the starting position again, which is gonna be interesting to see because it's gonna be interesting to see how well his offense functions without Hurts. Like, are they gonna be the Ravens or are they gonna be the 49ers? Is this team well oiled enough to function without their QB?
I'm just devastated because it's robbed us of what was going to be a great Christmas Day game.
100%.
Like, I was really looking forward to that game, and I'm just devastated because that was like the game of this week of like, oh my, okay, Eagles Cowboys. I'm really excited for this game, and now it's, well, this sucks. Even if the Eagles do pull it off this weekend and it's a really great game, it's still not going to be Hurts versus Cowboys. Like I was excited.
It's not gonna be Hurts versus Dak. Instead, like we're not getting that this year apparently.
Well, unless they play each other in the playoffs. Like,
yeah, I was gonna get in the playoff. We're not getting that this year.
Yeah, I know, which sucks because that I was really excited for that game, and we'll see what happens.
Up next, we got two teams that are just wishing for the pain to end at this point. It's the Falcons versus the Saints, and the reason the pain cannot end is because both teams are still somehow eligible for the playoffs.
I forgot that this game happened, so when I was like, oh yeah, the Ravens Browns game was the worst game of the week. This might take the cake because because
at least he at least had Juwan Johnson putting up pretty good numbers and Rashid Shaheed. I mean, the Saints had a pretty solidly played game, but that's also due to the fact that Desmond Ridder was starting at QB for Atlanta, and good lord, is he not ready?
Oh god, no, Ridder's not ready, and he needs another year to cook at least.
Ridder is still very, very raw. Conversely, though, Tyler Algier, where the hell did this dude come from? Because he had an excellent game on the ground, putting up over 130 yards.
Look, it's against the Saints.
I know it's against the Saints, but still something.
No, I know it is definitely something, but it's against this Saints defense. The Saints are in trouble. Look, Saints are getting a new head coach at the end of the year. I don't know who it's going to be, but they're going to get a new head coach. They're going to get a new quarterback. The Saints are at a full-on blow-up rebuild, and It's unfortunate because they went all in. That we had two teams.
The sad thing is they can't even like draft one that could be in the first round because
No, but that's what I mean. Well, they went all in, and it's blown up in their face. Like we talk about the Rams, at least they have a ring to hug. Saints, the Rams stole the Saints ring.
The Saints have a body pillow with Drew Brees' jersey on it.
Yeah, like 2018 was the Saints' year. That was the year. Like we would have had Brees versus Brady in the Super Bowl.
And then the rest robbed us of that. And
no, and I look, I as someone who was going for the Rams that year, like, the refs absolutely blew that game, 100%. But
yeah, and then we got one of the most boring, stale Super Bowls I've maybe ever seen.
Oh, that was the worst.
Oh, God, yeah, so it's like it's the most forgettable Super Bowl of my life.
Easily the most forgettable.
Up next, we have the Lions taking on the Jets. These are two teams looking to assert their dominance, and the Lions are looking. It's like if I'm a team, I'm scared of this team.
Right. Look, you know who, and if they make the playoffs, they're playing the Vikings.
Yeah,
I don't know if the Vikings beat them.
I am horrified at the prospect of facing the Lions, which is something I never thought I would say.
No, I'm terrified. The one thing that the irony is, the one thing that the Vikings have going for them is they play incredible on Wild Card Weekend. So like, who knows? But yeah, if I'm right now, the Lions are looking like that they can make the playoffs, which is going to be amazing. And
well, I mean, if the Lions make it, they'll be the first team to do that after losing 6 of their first 7.
Yeah, I mean, because they haven't done they didn't match what's it called did they? They didn't match what the Dolphins did last year, where they went 7-7.
Yeah. Well, no, they have to make the playoffs. That's the thing. Like the Dolphins didn't make playoffs, so if they make the playoffs, be the first one to do it after going 1-7.
Yeah, but no, this is a great game. I had a lot of fun with this game. Like, I mean, it really sucks because Zach Wilson isn't it. Like, he really isn't it, and we just keep getting reminded of that. But yeah, it's this is.
I mean, it's a great resurgence for them. It's a really great story, and it's also so currently they're sitting at the most wins they've had in the franchise since 2017. They've since past that they're now back to 500. And again, if I'm any NFC team, I'm scared to face this team because they are scrappy. They will do what it takes to win, and again, we're getting what we saw. They're biting kneecaps. They're scrappy. They're determined. They'll do anything. On the other side, though, Zach Wilson didn't play that bad. Did not play that bad. He did have one of his traditional "what the fuck are you thinking" throws, but he did have several throws where just like, okay, that's why you were second overall pick.
Zach Wilson does the real pretty stuff really well. He some of his long throws and his deep throws are really pretty and look amazing and wonderful, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. You can't do the easy shit, and that's the stuff, like the check downs and the simple stuff he can't do, and it drives me mad.
No, I understand that. Yeah, like this. What Zach Wilson's like one of the most frustrating QBs in the league right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like he'll have like these like, oh my god, you're amazing, followed by moments where you're like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Like it. You understand why he was drafted second because I think it was a mistake drafting him second, and I really think it was a bad mistake because people looked at him and went, "Oh my god, he's the next Mahomes," because look at that deep pass and he's elusive and he can run. Yeah, but Mahomes does the small stuff
again. Like,
well,
no, like I said on the show, he's Mahomes. He is Mahomes. He play blindfolded.
Yeah, like it's just. He needs honestly, he needs to sit for a year, learn the playbook, actually sit behind someone. Because look, personally, I think the Jets are going to drop him. and I think that they're either going to trade him or drop him. If I'm Zach Wilson, or if I'm the Jets, or if I'm another team if I'm another team that can get him for cheap and sit him behind a vet, he could be a really good quarterback, because it's the small stuff that he can't do, and that's the stuff you can learn. The deep passes are the hard stuff to learn, and he does those, and he looks pretty doing them. Like, if I'm just trying to think of like a team that, like, say a Giants, or or even like a team that can just have him sit behind, like the Lions, even sitting behind Goff for a year and learn from Goff. I mean, I'm not the greatest example, because Goff isn't amazing, but like, he's getting better, and Goff's their quarterback next year. I don't think they draft a quarterback.
You don't think so?
No, I think I mean, they might with the Rams pick, maybe, but
I think they do either late first or early second, because I think the perfect one for him is Hendon Hooker, because he's gonna fall.
Yeah, true. Like, if someone, okay, yeah, sorry, they won't use the Rams pick on a quarterback. I think that's going to be used on defense.
That's their higher pick. You're right.
Yeah, sorry, the Rams pick's their higher one. That one I think is absolutely going to be used on defense. Their pick might be used on a quarterback, or the Rams' second round, one or the other.
Yeah. But yeah, Lions get a much needed win, and yeah, NFC, watch out. They're literally right there. And if the Lions make the playoffs, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Look, the Lions' biggest fear would be coming in 6th and playing the 49ers, because I don't know if they can beat the 49ers.
That's true.
Just because of that defense. Like, that would be the unfortunate thing, is if they come in and play the 49ers. But if they come in and play the Vikings, I think they got a chance. And then their second game is against the Eagles. That'll be tough, but who knows? We'll see.
Up next, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Carolina Panthers. And you know what? I'm filing with the league. I want the Steelers to get the NFC South's playoff spot. They swept the entire division. We deserve the spot.
I mean, so did the Bengals did as well, didn't they?
But they're already gonna get it. We deserve it.
Okay.
they're already getting it. We deserve it.
Bengals did a pretty Browns. Did the Browns do it as well?
Let me check on that. I don't remember. Maybe? Hold on. Let's see. Beat the Panthers. No, they didn't beat the Falcons.
They didn't beat the Falcons.
And they haven't played the Saints yet.
And then the Ravens beat the Bucks. They beat the Saints. They beat the Panthers. And they haven't played the Falcons.
They haven't played the Falcons yet, so they could sweep. Point is, it should go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why? You know, well, we should get the spot. We do it with Mitch Trubisky. That's the reason we should do it. We should get the spot. I would like to thank Mitch Trubisky for not mitching this game up.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. This was a bad game. This was just a bad game. This was just an awful game. And Mitch wasn't terrible. Again, this was a bad game for a team that Steelers are still desperate to get on. They're still playoff in the hunt. They can still make it. They got a real tough road to do it.
Everything needs to go right in the next few weeks.
But this weekend, everything went right for them. So,
they played classic Steeler football, run the ball, stop the run. They held Carolina to, I think, 40 yards, not 20, 20 yards on the ground all day, all game. Which is gave a few too many deep passes, which is it's fine, but still, Sam Darnold didn't play amazing or anything. But yeah, I mean, this is a game that, again, if the Steelers played like this all season, we would not be in this situation.
No, yeah, again, that's where it's come down to, is you are one of the most inconsistent teams in football.
Absolutely,
and 100%. That's one of your biggest problems. But look, they play well enough. If everything goes right, you got 3 games left to make sure Mike Tomlin's record doesn't get broken.
Mm-hmm. And next week we got my Lord and Savior Kenny Pickett back under center. Sorry, Mitch, you're okay, but yeah, I'm a real QB back.
Yeah, you've got to win this game on Sunday. Not like
not even for not playoffs. Just we'll talk about it later. Like this next Sunday is a must win for us.
Oh yeah.
Moving on to our next game, upset of the week, and oh god, I love bringing this clip back.
Howdy! How do you do?
Oh, the Dallas Cowboys. We thought you were the fraud was going off last week when you barely beat the Texans. This week, though, holy shit!
Again,
you gave up a 17-point lead to Jacksonville.
The Cowboys are. Look, the Vikings are the most fraudulent team in football. The Cowboys are probably second.
Yeah. It's like it's one of the two of them.
And here's the thing. On their best day, they could win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
The problem is I do not believe that they can play their best football 4 games in a row. Absolutely. And that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to play their best football 4 games in a row, and they're not going to do it. And that's why they're not going to make the Super Bowl, is because they're going to have to do it against the Bucs. Then they're going to have to do it against the Eagles or the Rams, or they're going to most likely have to do it against the Eagles or Vikings. Then they're going to have to do it against the 49ers, and then they're going to have to do it against whoever comes out of the AFC. They're not doing it. And every week in, week out, they prove time and time again, they fade and they're frauds every single week. And yes, I know. Look, I gave Eagles benefit of the doubt. I'm about to give Chiefs benefit of the doubt because they've proven it to me time and time again. Hey, we're not frauds. We actually, like, when the chips are down, we'll play. Cowboys, every single year, when the chips are down and it matters, you blow it like you did last year against the 49ers. Yes. You blow it like you do every other year, and you play terribly. And that's where we're at. And that's why I don't trust the Cowboys at all. I do not believe that the Cowboys are making the Super Bowl. I do not believe that they're making the NFC conference. I think they lose to Tom Brady week 1. I've said it for the last 6 months.
That's going to be a shitty week of playoffs for me because I'm going to have to root for the Cowboys or Tom Brady.
Yeah, but like that's my thing. Like I seriously think that I've said it for the last 6 weeks. Cowboys are going to play Tom Brady week 1, and the Bucs are going to win, and they're going to knock out the Cowboys, and we're all going to sit there and go, what did your 12-13 win season mean? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, because again, you are the Cowboys.
Something else we need to talk about, and we've talked about on the show before, like the greatest thing that could happen to Trevor Lawrence is being unshackled from Urban Meyer.
Oh, absolutely. And look, Trevor Lawrence has been really good. He has been very, very good. He needs to get up the consistency.
Yes.
Because the biggest problem with this Jags team is 1 week they look like world beaters, and you're like, oh my God, the Jags are going to oh my God, Trevor Lawrence is here. The Jags have entered. They're going to be one of the top 4 teams in the league. They're going to start rivaling people. We've got our 4 division holders for the next decade. Like, Bengals, Chiefs, Jags, Bills. Like, they're the 4 teams that are going to own their division for the next decade. And then the week later, you'll be like, the Jags deserve the number 1 seed.
Yes.
Like the Jags deserve the number 1 draft pick. Like, it's just, they are so all over the place, and he needs to get consistent, because every single week it depends on who he's playing. And it's just, you can't point to it and go, oh, okay, yeah, the defense played poorly, so because of that, Trevor Lawrence wasn't able to, his numbers were bad or something. Like, there isn't. There's just 1 week his numbers are great.
He nearly cost his team the game in this one.
He did. He nearly did. There was a bad pick, and he nearly cost them it.
Well, it wasn't a pick. It was when he tried to run, and rather than slide, he tried to go for it, and he dropped the ball.
Mm.
Thank God the defense clamped down and gave him another chance and got him into field goal range. So they sent this game into overtime. And that is when we had the emergence of my pick for Stonks Player of the Week, Rayshawn Jenkins, who is a cornerback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sorry, safety for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Finished the game with 2 picks and 18 tackles, including the game-winning pick 6. That dude was he was incredible. I think he deserves praise.
Again, and like, look, that one's not on Dak. That pick 6, like that one's not on Dak at all. That's on the receiver who should have caught the ball, or batted it down. But like at the same time, like that's Cowboys football right then and there. That is Cowboys football. Is you need 20 yards. That's it. 20 yards and you win this game.
Can't do it,
and you can't do 20 yards to win a game.
Not only that, you got points going the other way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I just, that is Cowboys football so perfectly summed up in that play. And afterwards we all go, you know, that's going to happen in a playoff game. That's going to happen in the playoffs. And afterwards we're all going to be like, oh man, look, they got to overtime. It was so close. Like, guys, this is the Cowboys. This is the damn Cowboys. They haven't done it in 30 years.
Well, speaking of the Cowboys, despite losing this, given the fact that they already have 10 wins, it is enough to officially clinch their playoff spot.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you get your ass blasted in round 1. Again.
To Tom Brady, and Jacob's prediction comes correct.
I don't want the Cowboys to win, but I don't want Brady to win either. So like, again, I'm gonna be miserable that one game. Up next, we have what was nearly our upset of the week: the Chiefs versus the Texans.
And like I said, I've said for the last 2 games, I'm not killing the Chiefs for this. All right. Again, they're the best team in the league. They're the best. They've been the best team in football for the last 4 years. I'm not murdering you because you decided we're not turning up against the Texans, and then in the 4th quarter you decided we are, and we win the game. Like, I'm not going to kill you for it. It's a bad game.
It was a bad game played by the Chiefs. The fact that this was even close going into the third. No, sorry, excuse me. Texans were leading going into the 4th quarter. That should have automatically counted as a loss.
No, it should. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the Chiefs weren't great. Mahomes didn't have a great game, but like, even though the stat line, you look at it and you go, "Oh my god!" Like, he completed like over 75% of his passes, and he threw for over 300 yards. That's an excellent game by any account. He didn't play well. Like, you actually watch the game. He missed a lot of throws. He did not play well. But they're playing the Texans. And if you play well for 1 quarter against the Texans, you can win the game. Yeah. And that's what happened.
Yeah, literally. Like, they had a tie going into overtime. The Texans had a chance to shock the world. Mm-hmm. And they remembered they are the ultimate tank. And you know what? Hats off to Davis Mills, doing everything in his power to help the Texans secure his replacement.
Like, yeah, he didn't play well. That pick 6 to end the game was
it wasn't a pick 6.
Oh no, sorry, it wasn't a pick. It was the run.
He dropped the ball, and they immediately gave up like a 30-yard run to end the game by Mike Deacon's choice for Stonks Player of the Week, Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah, like, it was just, again, this game was bad. I'm not going to kill the Chiefs over it, though. Like, I'm still like, they're still a top 3. They're still the team to beat for me in the AFC. Like, I know Bills are the favorite, but the Chiefs are the team. You're going to have to go through Arrowhead at some point. Some team is going to go through Arrowhead, and they're going to have to beat the Chiefs at home if they want to play the Bills or into the Super Bowl. So, that's I think that this is just one of those games where it happens, and you kind of just got to live with it. Like, it happens. You won the game, so it doesn't actually end up costing you in the seeding, but the team's going to build around, like just go, oh shit, we nearly lost that. Oops.
And with this win, I did eat a little bit of Croach because at the beginning of the year, I did not pick the Chiefs to win their division. Purely because it looked like everybody in that division got better except them. Well, you know what, Chiefs, I am sorry, because with this win, you've officially clinched your division and clinched a spot in the playoffs. Moving on to our next game, this I'm talking about like another miserable experience. We thought this would be between two of the top flight quarterbacks in the league. Both of them are injured, so we now had to watch. For a brief moment, had to watch a shootout between Colt McCoy and Brett Rippon until Colt McCoy was injured with a concussion. So we had to watch Trace McSorley come into the game.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch this game. There was other games on at that point, and I didn't watch it. And I got a score update, and I was just like, I don't care about this. I was watching the Bucks Bengals game, and then the Chargers game because I was not interested in this game at all. This was I don't want to watch two backups just get destroyed because the Broncos defense is incredible. So yeah,
Thing is, the Broncos' offense was more efficient than they had been the last couple of games. Like Latavius Murray had a really solid game, finishing with 130 yards on the ground. If they had played like this all season, they'd probably be in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, like again, the Broncos are just still a bad team. They're really bad team, and.
Yes.
It is so disappointing because that defense is so good.
It's a case of what won out, the awful or the even more awful.
Yeah.
And with this game, the pain is officially over for the other side. The Cardinals have been eliminated from playoff contention.
Finish him.
Yeah. The Cardinals are in a lot of trouble in this offseason. Like, they're in for a rough offseason because they're not going to get their quarterback until probably October. I'm not going to get him back, which means the problem you're going to then have is what do you do with your coach? I have been the biggest proponent of firing Cliff all year. I'm at a point where I don't know if I want to anymore because who are we going to get? What coach is actually what decent coach wants to come to the Cardinals where, oh, hey, yeah, your starting quarterback's going to be injured for the first 2 months of the season.
No, that's true.
Or we just write off next season. We wait a year, and then go from there. That's kind of where I'm at with the Cardinals. They're in trouble. The Cardinals are in real trouble, especially given that they're the worst team in that division now. And that division's not particularly good anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. Next game we're going on, we're going to talk about the Titans versus the Chargers. A game you did watch.
This is the game I watched. This was a good game. This is a really good game. And Herbert was proving Herbert went, hey, this is what happens when I have my two wide receivers and I'm actually able to use both of my wide receivers for the entire game.
It's funny. We had two games that looked like they were going into overtime at this time slot, neither of which did.
Yeah, I know. We were like, oh wow, we could have 5 overtime games in one weekend. Nope.
No, we are not. In this game, Tannehill was knocked out early with a potential concussion, and he was forced to watch Malik Willis try to do his thing from the injury tent. And oh my god, he looked miserable. Tannehill didn't do much better, but yeah, Malik Willis still not ready.
No, Malik Willis is not ready. Again, we're outside of Pickett. We're starting to see why these guys fell to the third round, and why we're also starting to see why the craziest offseason ever happened, because the draft class was bad and teams wanted a quarterback, and the draft class was bad and they needed quarterbacks, and I don't think any of them worked out. But we understood. But now that we've seen why.
Well, because who was moving? Yeah, Matt Ryan didn't work.
Matt Ryan didn't work out. Russell Wilson hasn't worked
out yet. But yeah, they got time.
You're putting the qualifier of yet. Carson
again,
Wentz
it
didn't
could work
work.
out.
Carson
Wentz did
Wentz
not work.
certainly didn't work. Carson Wentz is no longer a starter in the NFL in any team. Like, and Baker didn't work.
Baker did not work.
And Watson, I mean, Watson's probably the closest you have to working, but even then, like, it didn't work this year at least. Like,
Well, I mean, you also didn't get to play him most of the years.
exactly. Yeah, so when Watson is the best case scenario for the trades all moving,
It's not good.
No, like, yeah.
The Titans are in dire need of wins because of this loss. Because the Jaguars win, the Jaguars now only one game back from the division lead.
Yeah, the Titans versus Jags is going to decide the division.
And the thing is, even if the Titans lose the division game, Jacksonville still holds tiebreaker right now.
Yeah. Like that game's probably now going to be your Sunday night football game, like the last round of the season. Win and you're in, lose and loser goes home. Like that's probably going to be that last game now. Honestly, if I'm the Titans, I'm throwing everything I have at Packers and saying, "What do you want for Rodgers?" Or something.
Rodgers would be a good fit.
I am begging them for Rodgers because especially if I'm Titans management, at some point Vrabel's going to go, stuff this, I'm out, because Vrabel is I think a top 5 coach in the league.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well,
and
yeah, like I think we talk about this. Like he's like 5 if he's top 5, but yeah,
like I think he is one of the best coaches in the league.
Yes,
and
100%.
And if the Titans did the stupidest decision they could ever do, which they could, and fire him because they missed the playoffs this year or whatever, there are, I reckon, 20 teams, if not maybe more, that seriously have that conversation of, do we fire our coach so that we can call Vrabel?
Probably, yeah. I mean, yeah, Vrabel's an excellent coach. Problem is, he's hampered by his absolute lack of a passing game.
Yeah, he's got no passing game whatsoever. Like, yeah, they need a quarterback. They need one, and they need one bad. And because this team is Super Bowl ready, they are absolutely Super Bowl ready.
Yes, 100%.
If they just have a half decent quarterback, and they just don't. And that's
they got an excellent running game. They got a line. They have maybe talented receivers. We don't know.
I mean,
they got an okay defense.
The sneaky, like everyone keeps saying, the 49ers next year. This is a potential team. This is a potential team for Brady next year.
Brady to the Titans, that'd be fucking insane.
That it's a potential. Willis.
We'll talk about Brady in a second, but I don't think he comes back. I don't think he comes back at all next year.
I think he is. I think he's not letting this be his last season. No way. No way is he letting.
Let's talk about Brady and why the hell he needs to quit.
He is not letting this with that O-line be his last season. No way in hell. Like he's coming back for one last year. I really think he will. Unless the only way he doesn't is if he has a really good run in the playoffs. If he has a really good run in the playoffs and we get to the end of the playoffs and like say they lose to the 49ers in the conference final in a back and forth game like the Rams game was, I could see that. Then I could be like him, like, you know what? All right, I'll put up the I'll retire. I'll officially retire. Other than that, he does not want this to be his last season.
I would like to be his last season, and I think
but
like absolute garbage.
But the Bucs are a bad team. Like the Bucs the Bucs O-line is bad. The Bucs defense, while not terrible, don't get me wrong, they're not like an awful defense. They're not a world builder defense.
No,
like they're a very good defense, but there's the Bucs are a bad team. They're a bad football team. And it's why he was so desperate to get away from them last season, It had nothing to. The retirement had everything to do with him going, I don't want to play for the Bucks this next year, more than anything else. And
We see why.
no, yeah, we've seen it. They're a bad football team. He knew he couldn't win with this team, and I think that's why he was desperate to get to the Dolphins, because him on the Dolphins, they're a Super Bowl contender right now. They are a genuine bona fide Super Bowl contender. So I really think he is a sneaky to go to the Titans or the 49ers next year.
I'm supposed to place my chips on retire, but that's just me.
I think one more year as a free agent. I don't think it, like everyone keeps saying the Patriots. I don't think it's the Patriots. I
think he's really sour with the Patriots. I don't think he goes back.
But not only that, the Patriots aren't a team that are Super Bowl ready. That defense is good. Don't get me wrong. That defense is very good, but like they don't have any weapons. They don't have they're not Super Bowl ready. They're probably 2 years away from being Super Bowl ready with a decent quarterback. And I don't think Mac's a decent quarterback.
We'll get to that in just 1 second. But
yeah.
Let's talk about the Bengals real quick. Like, the Bengals didn't have to do much. Like, because of the turnover and the field position they got, they did not have to do much in order to win this game.
Yeah, look, I keep saying I think the Bengals are one of the best teams in football. I think Bengals are a very, very good team. And the first half of this game terrified me. I went, oh crap.
Oh, the first half of this game, they were fucking
They were awful. They were genuinely awful. Like I said, I didn't give the Cowboys credit for the Colts win, like the Colts blowout, because the Colts gave them the game. I can't give Bengals credit for this one because the Bucks gave them the game. They just went, here is the ball. Now
gave away the ball as a tax write-off on several occasions.
Yeah, and now, unlike Rodgers in a NFC conference game, when Tom Brady gave the Bengals the ball, they actually got points. So, they capitalized on it. But yeah,
Okay, the Bengals gave away the ball one time. Okay, one time.
No, when the Bucks gave them the ball, Bengals the ball, they capitalized.
Okay, you know what? Rodgers doesn't have Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd, and they weren't playing in like 3 feet of snow.
He had Devontae Adams.
That's
sorry.
One guy.
He had Devontae Adams in 2020. All right, don't try and hide behind Aaron Rodgers didn't have anyone.
He had a guy. He had one guy.
Yeah, and Devontae Adams is probably the best wide receiver in the league, especially in 2020.
Probably. So, I'm just saying. Rodgers wouldn't cough the ball up 4 times against the Bengals. Just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about Tom Brady's former homeland. Let's talk about the Patriots versus the Raiders.
Oh God.
Okay. Before we get into the thing from this game, this was looking really, like I said, Mac Jones. This is looking really bad for Mac Jones for the first half. I thought he was getting a bench at halftime because this dude could produce nothing.
Look, okay. I know I just said Mac Jones isn't a great quarterback. I don't think he is. This isn't on Mac. This is like a lot of this isn't on Mac Jones. This is on. I'm starting to put this flag in. Bill Belichick's a problem, and
he needs to go.
Like Belichick needs to retire, or like Bill Belichick is a great coach. He is a phenomenal coach, but he has far too much control over that team. And the fact that Matt Patricia and Joe Judge are still in week 15, the OCs of this team, is a joke and ridiculous. Especially when there are very, very talented people out there who could be OCs who are not as embarrassing as this. This is embarrassing at this point.
Yeah, Mac Jones through 4 quarters only completed 13 out of 31 of his passes for 112 yards. That fucking sucks.
It does. It is awful, and I am not going to defend Mac Jones, but I also am to an extent because this is I'm putting
play calling sucks. I will say that his play calling does suck.
No, I'm putting this squarely on Matt Patricia at this point. I'm like Matt Patricia. If he still played like this under another OC, then I would be like, no, it's on Mac. Look at what happened last year with, I think, an incredibly good OC. I think he's a bad head coach, but I think Josh McDaniels is an incredible OC. And he was good. He was a Pro Bowler. Like, he was, Mac Jones was a good quarterback last year. And what do? We gave him Matt fucking Patricia as an OC this year, and he's turned terrible. I wonder why.
Yeah. The thing is, the Raiders, okay. Stop me if you've heard this one before. The Raiders, after coming up to a double-digit lead, proceed to blow it once again. Where have I seen this movie?
All season, I think it's 6 times now this season.
6 times. 6 times this season they've come in and blown a double-digit lead.
They're a bad team. The Raiders are a bad team. They get away with, I never want to hear Raiders bitch about the tuck rule or bitch about bad calls ever again when you got away with bloody murder in this one.
Well, no. This is the opposite. I don't want to hear Patriots fans complain about this. Because, yes, this was ruled a touchdown, even though it was very clearly out of bounds. This is karma for the tuck rule. And Patriots fans, I don't want to hear shit from any of you.
That's fair. No, and that's fair. But I also don't want to hear Raiders ever bitching ever again about we never get calls. Yeah, you fucking do.
You did. But see, that was to tie the game. First of all, Derek Carr had a fantastic drive to tie the game up.
Yeah.
So there were about, let me get the timestamp on this, 20-ish seconds left on the clock. In order to, again, we're going to overtime. Patriots get the ball with 32 seconds left on the clock. They decide, okay, we figure they're going to run out the clock to go to overtime. What we didn't see coming was this.
Mac Hollins out on defense. He's all the way back. Stevenson.
Is anyone going to?
That's out to 30. Flips it back.
I believe I can.
In sight.
Uh-oh.
It's picked off.
Oh no.
Unbelievable. Oh, wow. Incredible. Chandler Jones takes it in and wins the game for the Raiders.
Doesn't matter how many times I watch that play. It's still
I've seen that play so many times this week. I've seen that so many times just because every single show and it is just we got to talk about. This is the single dumbest play in NFL history.
It's up there. This has to be up there.
This
might be dumber than the Colts fake punt or whatever the fuck they were trying to do that one time.
Oh yeah, the
Pat McAfee one.
Yeah. This might be dumber than that.
Because you were going to overtime. You had it.
Yep.
Not only that, I don't know why Stevenson doesn't try to take the edge.
Yeah.
And maybe try to speed back into the end zone, but no. Let's lateral the ball backwards to Jacoby Myers, who laterals the ball again and back another 10 yards right into the hands of Chandler Jones.
This is the single dumbest play I think I've ever witnessed personally. Actually witnessed. And
this is on the level of the Miracle in the Meadowlands back in the 80s, where the game was over. All you had to do is knee the ball, and you don't do it, and you fucking lose.
Yep.
And again, if this is any other coach than Bill Belichick, he would have fired the next day.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No. The next day, you are fired. Absolutely.
If it was any other coach, he would be fired.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. This was ridiculous. This was embarrassing. I have no words for this at all whatsoever. I just and I'll give him credit. He came out and admitted, yeah, I fucked up. Myers coming straight out.
Stevenson,
them coming out and admitting.
Keep in mind, we have not. I don't think anybody's heard from them in the last couple of days, so we might need to go.
They might be murdered.
Make sure building go murder them.
But no, I'll give him credit that they did. They came out and went, "Yep, we fucked up." That takes guts after something like that. To actually be able to come out, go in front of a press room, and admit after that play that is on us. Because that's on Myers more than Mac. I know everyone's killing Mac for not making the tackle.
What
you're not expecting?
It's Chandler Jones.
Yeah, I know. It's Chandler Jones. He's not expecting it. What are you meant to do? I'm not murdering Mac for that. Like I know Patriots fans are, but Patriots fans are morons. So
let me get the stats. Mac Jones is 6'3", 217. Chandler Jones is 6'5", 260. You think Mac Jones take that dude down?
yeah, like you're not. Like it's not gonna happen. I'm not. So yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna kill Mac Jones over that. That's not his fault. This is just one of those. Just take the knee. Like just sit next time. You don't run the play. This is why teams play for overtime. This is why they just take the knee and go to overtime, because what can happen? Anything can happen. A turnover could happen and the other team can win. And that's what happened. Turnover happened and the other team won.
Yeah. The only thing that would make this game better if it was not flex out of prime time. Imagine that on prime time. That would have been hilarious.
Oh my god, yeah. That would have been hilarious.
Instead, we got this in prime time. We got the Giants versus the Commies in a game that was so badly officiated, you would swear the rest had money on the Giants to win.
This is easily the worst ref game I've seen all year.
Oh, 100%.
This was terrible. This was awful. This was, you would actually think that this is a game where you would actually seriously go to the NFL. You need to look into this. And I'm not someone, and I'm not someone who generally likes bringing that up and saying, "Oh, the refs had money." Like, because look, ref integrity is a big deal, especially in a sport.
Not to mention, like, Washington had plenty of chances to win this game.
Yeah, and like I don't like
they didn't lose solely because of the refs, but the refs screwed them on multiple occasions.
Look, the PI is not the one that I'm screaming about. The PI is absolutely not the one.
Which is very cool. Which I guess is not pass interference.
Yeah, it's PI. It is 1000% PI, but PI is a subjective call, and I completely look, a ref might not think it is. Whatever, it's a subjective call. I'm not screaming over that. That didn't cost them the game. The thing that cost them the game was the illegal formation. The illegal formation is the stupidest penalty I've ever seen.
Like Terry looked over the ref. He's like, "We're good, right? We're good. We're good." They're like, "Okay, cool." Then immediately throw the flag right after.
Like if a ref, and that is the type of penalty that you go that you actually question and you say, why did you give that? Like that is the one where the NFL needs to come out and actually explain it in terms of they gave that, like, because it's one of those penalties where every single player you could find one. Every single player you could find something like that. But when the player is trying to do the right thing and turns to the ref first and you see that he does, why are you blowing that penalty?
Exactly.
And that, so I think that's the one that I think is more of a blow up. That's the one where you genuinely blow up and go, hey, like if I'm Washington right now, that's the one I'm calling the NFL over and saying, please explain why my player looks at a ref, the ref nods, and then throws a penalty the next play without the player moving. I need that's a please explain, because like the PI, you can have a please explain and then it's going to come back saying it's a subjective call. Like, they made a subjective decision. Fine, whatever. I don't agree with the subjective decision. I think it's a bad subjective decision, but it's a subjective decision. That one's objective, and you've made the wrong call.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like that was ridiculous. This is a win the Giants needed in order to secure their playoff chances, or keep the playoff chances alive. Because I think now they hold serve over Washington.
Now they've got, because of the draw and the win, Giants, I think, unless they lose out, basically, or I think basically they're in at this point without officially being in. I think either the Seahawks or the Lions, Seahawks, Lions, and Washington, one of them has to lose. That's all that happens. Like if all of them win out, I think the Giants miss out. But yeah, it's basically the Giants can lose from here on in and still make the playoffs.
But yeah, I mean, if the commies just miss a playoff spot because of this, that's just gonna be really sour a lot of
It
people.
is. It's gonna like this is if the Commanders miss out because of one game, it's because of that call. That's gonna really piss off a lot of people. And the stupid thing is, like, getting the touchdown wouldn't have guaranteed it because then they would have had to get the 2-point conversion as well. Hey, they were 8 points down. Like it's not a guarantee. Like I don't think Commanders win this game. I think Giants were the better team all game. I think I don't think Commanders win it because I don't think they get the 2-point conversion. But the fact that they weren't even given the chance is where there's question marks.
Exactly. Last game we're talking about is Monday Night Football. We got the Rams versus the Packers. And Baker, happy had your little feel-good story last week, but back to reality.
Yeah, back to reality. It wasn't great. But again, it's one of the worst teams in football. Like
he's got nothing to work with.
Exactly. Like if this was a team that had, the O-line from last year and Cup playing and Baker played like this, I'd be like, okay, Baker, what's going on? But you got nothing. He's literally got nothing. And the fact that, he got 12 completions and 100 yards is kind of a miracle. So
yeah. On the other side, the Packers, pretty solid job all around. I mean, shit.
Yeah,
AJ Dillon had 2 touchdowns. Rodgers didn't turn the ball over 4 times. Say that.
Still turned it over. He had a really bad. That was a bad interception though. That was bad.
Still better than any of Brady's interceptions.
Yeah. Packers are alive, which I think is actually going to hurt the franchise long term. I think they're making a massive mistake by not playing Love for these last 3 games. Just to get data. They just need to see what he's like in actual football games. And because of this, they're going to have to make a decision on his 5th year option without having seen him really play a game, or they're going to have to trade him and not get any value for him. Like I think this is a massive mistake from the Packers because they're technically still alive, and they're not. Like they're not still alive. They've got, I think it's like a 0.2% chance or something of making the playoffs. Like it's
that's all they need.
I know. Like they need to win out. The Lions need to lose out, and so do the Washington and Seahawks. I think that's what needs to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen, guys. So play Jordan Love and figure out what do you have in Jordan Love. I don't get it. I really don't.
Well, something else not happening is the Rams' hope of running it back, because with this loss, despite the fact that everything this year are trying to run it back, they have now been officially eliminated from the playoffs once again.
Finish him.
And they're officially the worst. They're the worst defense. This is the worst Super Bowl defense ever.
Yep, that's certified now.
Yep.
That's going to do it for the week's game. We now move on to our last segment, which is our Week 16 predictions, as well as stunks and not stunks.
All right.
Up next, we got the Jaguars. First, we got the Jaguars versus the Jets tonight, actually.
In an hour and a half.
Yep.
If Mike White was playing, I would say Jets, but I'm going to go Jags.
That's such a weird sentence to say. I'm also going Jags, so I'm going to throw him out there with Zach Wilson.
Not stonks. He's a bad quarterback. No.
Not stonks.
The one thing that the one nervous part I would have if I'm a Jags fan is him throwing the ball to Sauce.
Yeah. Oh, it's true.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if Trevor Lawrence has a 2 turnover game.
Good point. All right, moving on to our Saturday, so our Christmas Eve slate, if you will. We got the
Christmas
Bills.
Day for me. I'm getting up Christmas. It's 4 a.m. on Christmas morning.
First up, we got the Bills. Your boy, the Bills versus the Chicago Bears. This is gonna be disgusting.
No, I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna have the same problem. I think it's gonna have the same problem every other good team has, where it's Christmas Eve. we don't want to be playing football.
We don't want to play.
No, like I really think that's going to have some
That's
of the
fair,
mindset.
actually. That's very fair.
Like, I think there's going to have some teams with that mindset. I think there's going to be some upsets this week. I don't think Bills lose. I think the Bills win, but it's going to be a close game. And I think it's going to be close just because they're going to have it's Christmas Eve. I want to be with my family. I'm playing football against a bad football team because the Bears are a bad football team. The one thing the Bills have is they need every win because otherwise they're
They
not
could
going
lose
to get
number 1 seed.
the 1 seed. So maybe they emotionally get up for that. Like I could maybe see them getting up emotionally because of that for that reason. But they're going up against a bad team. So yeah, I think I'm saying Bills, but it's going to be a closer game than it has any right to be. And next week we're all going to come on these shows and say, "Oh my God, are the Bills frauds?" No, it's fucking Christmas Eve, guys. Like,
all right, I'm going to throw out Stephon Diggs.
not stonks by his standards, but stonks by regular standards. So I'm going to say not stonks.
Next, we got the Saints versus the Browns. Deshaun Watson versus the team he almost went to.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Browns.
A team that could have really used him.
Yeah, they really could have. I'm going to say the Browns Browns in a fairly close one. But I think this really could be Watson's get right game.
It could be. It's really could be, especially because I don't think the defense for New Orleans is that impressive.
No.
So I'm gonna throw out. I'll throw out Deshaun Watson.
Stonks. I think he has a good game. I mean, and this is his get right game, and we're all like, "Fuck me, he's back."
The fuck, he's still great. Damn it. All right. Up next, we got Texans versus Titans.
This is my upset of the week.
Really?
Yep.
See, because I have also prediction for this week, and it's this. Derrick Henry notoriously plays really well against the Texans.
Yeah, but also the Texans have beaten the Titans each year. Like, it's a divisional game. I just have a feeling that this is a divisional game that they lose. And
okay, so would you say Derrick Henry is not stunks?
No, I'm gonna say not stunks.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna say Derrick Henry has another 200-yard game, and I think this will put him back in the lead for rushing.
Okay. Look, if Titans win this and the Jets win tonight, that's it. It's over. Like, I know it's technically not, but it is. It's over. Jags win. Jags aren't making the playoffs. But because they can't make the wild card, they're literally only playing for the division.
Right. That's true. Yeah, no, you're right. Up next, we got the Seahawks versus the Chiefs.
Given the Chiefs just had their quiet game last week, I have a feeling they'll probably play pretty well in this one because they'll be able to emotionally get up. And so I'm going to say the Chiefs win this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not picking anybody over the Chiefs.
Yeah, not right now.
Not right now. And how do I throw? I'll throw out Geno Smith.
I think he'll play decently, but I don't. Yeah, I'm going to say Stonks.
All right. Up next, Giants versus Vikings. This is a game I think the Vikings can very easily lose.
Yeah, I got Giants winning this. I really think the Giants can win this game. Yep.
Wow. All right.
Both teams are the epitome of one win of one score wins, and I think the Giants. And I think at some point the Vikings' luck's going to run out. Like, at some point, it's going to run out, and I think this could be the game that it does.
Then I'm going to throw out this one. Kirk Cousins.
Not stonks. It's a bad game.
All right. Next, we got the Bengals versus the Patriots.
I am worried about this game. I'm going to say I'm going to say the Bengals, but I think this is closer than it has any right to be because I think Patriots going to come out pissed.
After last week, absolutely.
Yeah, I think Patriots going to come out and go, "We are not that Patriots team. We are not an embarrassment. We are not like they're gonna come out and play real Patriots football. I think Joe Burrow is going to be murdered at least 3 times. I reckon he gets sacked 4 times in this game.
Damn. All right.
I think Judon gets to him 4 times.
You think it's all Judon too?
Yeah, I think it's Judon. He gets to him 4 times.
Damn. All right. Then I'm gonna throw out for is Jamar Chase.
Not Stonks.
Because you think Burrow's is not gonna time to throw it to him?
I just don't. Yeah, I like. I'm flipping. I'm going Patriots win this game. I'm saying Patriots win this. Actually, I'm going to say Patriots win. I think they're going to be mad. I think they're going to come out and be. They're going to play really well. That defense is going to be angry. That defense is going to have time to get to Burrow. They're going to be able to, and I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see Burrow get sacked a lot.
All right, and next game up we have the Lions versus the Panthers. I think the Lions are going to come out and get a winning record.
This is I think Lions win this one. Everything about this though feels like the game the Lions lose that destroys all hope in the city.
Yep.
Like everything about it just feels like this is that game where they lose and then the Panthers still have another chance at the playoffs, and you're like, oh my god, what's going on? But I am gonna say the Lions, but I have absolutely no like belief in that.
Yeah, I just because like the Panthers defense is pretty underrated, but I think the offense is pretty bad.
Yeah, but I also think Sam Darnold is not as bad as. I don't think Sam Darnold is like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, and I think he's actually playing pretty decently since he came back.
Okay, so I'll throw out Sam Darnold.
All right, you know what? No, I'm going to flip it. I'm going to say I'm calling some upsets. I'm going to say Panthers and Sam Darnold stonks. I'm going to say Panthers win.
All right. Up next, we got the Falcons versus the Ravens.
This one I think
we have no word on who's starting it. I'm assuming it's still Ritter.
I'm assuming Ritter's still starting, and I'm assuming Lamar's not. I know they're saying he could be, but I'm going to assume he's not. I'm still saying Ravens, and the only reason is because Ritter's bad. Ritter is not ready. I just think that the Ravens win. Like that Browns defense is at least decent. So like the Ravens had to go up against a pretty decent defense. Falcons is not a good team at all whatsoever. So I'm going to say the Ravens win this one and get themselves into the playoffs.
All right. Throw out Mark Andrews for this one.
Yeah, stonks. He has a decent game.
All right. Up next, I should said J.K. Dobbins. Probably stonks also. Up next, got Commies versus 49ers. Heineke versus Brock Purdy.
I'm really, really sorry, Washington. You guys are about to have a rough day. We've got a four pick game, and 49ers probably put 30 points on them.
Really? Damn.
I think this is going to get ugly. I think this is going to be an ugly game. This is not pretty.
All right, name I'll throw out for this one. Because you already think Heineke's not stunks.
No, I think Heineke's gonna have a 4 interception game. I think
I'll say George Kittle.
Yeah, no, because I think McCaffrey's gonna have most of the ball. I think it's gonna be very much a run first game.
All right. We talked about it earlier how this game was like must see TV. Now we're just like, okay, we're still going to check. Tune in. This is the Eagles versus the Cowboys.
Ugh, I'm so devastated by this because I was so looking forward to this game. I think the Cowboys win just because you got back up against starter. And the Cowboys will get up for this game. I think this is why they lost last week. I think they've had this game circled since they lost to the Eagles earlier in the season, and they know that this is probably the biggest game of the season for them personally. So yeah, I'm going to say Cowboys.
This is tough. It's going to depend on how well this offense can function without Jalen Hurts. Can Gardner Minshew do it?
Yeah.
And you know what, Gardner Minshew, he's a good player.
He's decent enough. Like I think he is decent. I just don't see it.
I'll lean Eagle on this one.
Who did what team just grabbed Nick Foles?
Oh no, they didn't grab him. He was already there.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the Colts.
The Colt? Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so Gardner Minshew, not Stunks. But,
Oh, sorry. I'm saying not.
Stunks.
I'm saying not Stonks.
Okay. I don't know. I want Uncle Rico to come out and throw like 5 touchdowns.
Look. Don't get me wrong. If Gardner Minshew came out and won this game for the Eagles, I will be on cloud 9, and I will come here next week with Mike and be like, "You fucking beauty." But I just don't see it. I think Cowboys come in and they play pretty well.
All right. Up next, this is the primetime game for Saturday night.
Ravens better fucking win
Raiders
this.
versus Steelers. No, yeah,
Steelers better win this.
This game was going to be on the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception against the team that was against because that was against the Raiders.
Mm.
And Franco Harris just passed away.
Yeah,
the Steelers have to win this game.
Not
for playoffs, not for positioning, not to get a Super Bowl. For Franco Harris.
Yeah, that's all they got to do. Like so, in my sport in rugby league, we had kind of the same thing happen where arguably one of the biggest names in the league passed away. And he kind of was like a Franco Harris, where he wasn't like, the biggest name in the world, but he was very famous for one thing, and his name was Tommy. His team came out the weekend that after he had passed away, and it was this big giant like memorial for him. Every single they were the last game. Every single team had done a memorial for him before each of their games. It was been really nice. Then they came out and they had 30 points put on them in the first half, and it was one of the most ugly, embarrassing displays we've ever seen from a football team. If the Steelers do this, people will burn jerseys.
Yes.
The Steelers have to win this game. They have to look good. They have to come out. They have to be a good football team, and they have to beat this Raiders team.
Yes. Now you're going to bother doing stonks, not stonks, because everybody in Pittsburgh is stonks. Everybody in the Raiders is not.
Yeah. So if the Steelers lose this game, are you wearing that hat next week?
Yes.
If the Steelers lose this week, you have to pick against them next week.
I don't want to, but fine, I will.
And if they win it, I'll pick them next week, no matter who I don't even know if they're playing next week. Actually,
they are. Oh, who they're playing? I forgot who they're playing next week. I think it's either the Ravens or the Browns. I think it's the Ravens.
It's Ravens next week. Okay, I'd pick them anyway. But all right.
Up next, we got our Sunday slate. Only got 3 games this Sunday because it is Christmas Day. Oh, the unlucky bastards have to play on this day. Packers versus Dolphins.
This is, I think, the best round of the week. Game of the week. I think it could be. I don't know. I'm gonna say the Dolphins win this barely. I think this is close. I really think this is gonna be a close game, and Packers season officially ends when the Dolphins beat them.
And name I'm gonna throw out for this one is, I'll throw out Aaron Rodgers.
I think he doesn't. I think he plays decently. I don't think he has a terrible game, so I think he actually plays pretty decently.
All right. Afternoon slate. We got oh my god, this is gonna be miserable. Broncos versus Rams.
You remember when this was meant to be like this was going to be a highlight game? It was like, oh my god, when they were talking about opening the season with this game.
Yep.
Yeah, this is going to be a bad game.
I'm going Broncos purely because they're still going to be. Russell Wilson will be back.
Look, I'm going to say Broncos because that defense is incredible, and I think Baker's going to really struggle against that defense. But I also think that, I don't know how many points they're going to put up. I think this literally could be less than 10-point game.
Yeah, could be. I'll throw out Russell Wilson.
Not stonks.
Not stonks. And hold on. Let's get his touchdown count for the year so far. I think he's at 12.
No, he's still at 11. He's at 11.
He's still 11?
He's still at 11. So he's got 3 more games to score 2 more touchdowns to beat it. Like, so 1
He's
more
11.
ties it, 2 beats it. The Chiefs game really helped him.
All right, so we're gonna see if he ends up beating the bathrooms. He's got 3 games to beat it because.
Yeah, so I just said he's got 3 games to beat it.
I thought I said 2. All right, yeah. So
no, he's got 3 games to beat it. He needs 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. So let's see if he can beat the bathrooms. All right, Sunday Night Football. This game's gonna. I hate Tom Brady. I'm not gonna say that right now. Buccaneers versus Cardinals.
So bad. This
Yes,
game's gonna look. I knew this game. This game was going to be bad when they announced it at the start of the season. Now it's going to be even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady's going to look like fucking Superman after this game. He is going to look like this is okay. I can already guarantee you what the number 1 topic on talk shows and everything this weekend will be. Tom Brady's back. Oh my god, Tom Brady's back because he's going to have a 4 touchdown, 300-yard game this weekend. Like he's
against this fucking team better.
Yeah, like he's going to play incredibly. It's going to be absolutely over the top insane, and we're all going to be like, what the hell? And yeah, like the Cardinals are a bad football team. They're a bad football team. And again, Brady doesn't have like a family he has to go back to. So,
Yeah, no, he doesn't have anywhere to spend Christmas. So he's fine.
That was a low blow.
Yes, it was.
I'm saying Bucks.
Do I regret it? Absolutely not. I'm gonna throw out for this one. I also want to get a stats for you. I'm gonna throw out Mike Evans.
Stonks. Yeah, stonks.
Because I want to get his stats for you, see how close he is to. Okay, so in order to keep his streak going, he needs 112 more yards in the next 3 games in order to keep his streak alive.
He'll get it.
I think so.
He might even do it this game. Honestly, he might have a 100-yard plus rushing game this.
Has he had a 100-yard game this year?
I don't think
he has.
Probably not.
See. Oh no, he's had 2. He had one against Baltimore and one against Kansas City.
Yeah. I don't know, but this is a bad team. I'm great. This is a great way of ruining the weekend.
And Monday's not getting better because we have
I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to this game.
And in this game is that Matt Ryan has been benched for the 2nd time this year, not in favor of Sam Ehlinger, in favor of the return of the legend, Big Dick Nick. Nick Foles will be starting this game.
Everything. Okay. I want the Chargers to win this so badly, but everything in the world is saying that they're not going to. This has trap game written all over it. Everything has trap game written. That being said, I am going to say Chargers win this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel good about it, but I do think the Chargers come out on top. And you know what? I'll throw it out. I'll throw out Nick Foles in this game.
Not Stonks. I don't think he plays particularly well, just because they just don't have anything for him.
All right, and that's going to do it for the show today. Jacob, where will we find you?
You guys can find me over at Twitter and Facebook at Jacob London. You guys can also find me on Letterboxd and on my podcast, Lights on a Screen podcast.
You can find me on Twitter, @ChanceWars_91. Check me out on my other podcast, Notorious by Chance. And this show will be back to our regular Tuesday spot next week. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week. Happy holidays, everybody.
Holy shit.